I'm not saying he's a demon, but I will say he's on a first name basis with the devil. However, today I'd like to address the pandemic of fraud that's taken place in Ukraine over the past 4 years. The 4'2" sweatpants model Zelensky, total cokehead, has been nothing more than a middleman for laundering money from our treasury back into the pockets of bigwigs, fat cats, and politicians stateside. Elon, clever Elon is what I call him, he and his team of autistic adjacent heroes at Doge have done a tremendous job of identifying financial whodunits aplenty perpetrated through various NGOs. But we will be setting our sights on a full audit of each member of Congress's bank accounts, investment holdings, and financial dealings overall. Contrary to the working assumptions of many, the goal of being a politician is not to make money and commit horrific sex crimes on islands run by intelligence agencies. No, folks, that's not consistent with our brilliant founder's vision, okay? My administration and I will be pursuing a bold new policy of saying the quiet part out loud, inspired in part by Alex Jones and his team over at Infowars.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Logic. Before I bring Jim on in here, and yes, he is waiting in the wings. Before I do bring him on in here, I want to explain to you all what dawned on me today. And the thought that dawned across my face today was I don't like the whole structure I got going on here with the 1/3, 2/3. I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong. It just feels like I have this and that, and I'm sort of glomming Diddy and following program and stuff like that. So no, I'd far prefer double feature. I'm probably going to be doing this on a fairly regular basis throughout the balance of this trial. I'll try to do like 9 or 9:30. Next week, I plan on starting the following program at like 9 o'clock because trial's starting earlier and ending earlier, starting next week. So next week, I plan on probably starting the following program on a nightly basis, like 9 o'clock, running it for an hour, and then going into the details of the Diddy trial for that day. Tonight, we're starting at 9:30. And when I finish here, I'm going to end the stream and I'm going to send you on over to the other stream. Maybe I can redirect. Can I redirect? Oh, redirect to myself. Whoa, man. The only way I could do that is if I start up the Diddy trial before I shut down. We're going to see if I can figure this out. Stick around, because that's going to be exciting, seeing if I'm able to redirect the audience from here, one trial to the other. Now, you don't have to follow, obviously. It's not like I got a gun to your head. It's just, it's probably the right call, but I'm not going to force you. But so that's what I plan on doing going forward. I plan on basically having following program for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then Diddy details for the day afterwards. What was that? What? You're laughing at me. What? Diddy details for the day? All right. Without any further delay, let's bring on in here.
Mind blown.
Can you imagine if I can do it? Can you imagine? Can you even imagine?
I think you can. I'm trying to think. Someone did it before. Someone used to do it. Redirect to like a different stream. I want to.
Yeah.
I think it was actually Jeff.
It's kind of almost like the definition of go blank yourself. That's what I'm doing. I'm go redirect yourself. Mm-hmm. So there you go. I'm going to see if I'm able to do it. We're going to see if it happens. Hopefully. I'm going to have to open up another tab for a different StreamYard and then try to get that started and try to redirect and then set up the redirect and We'll see.
Does it has to be a stream that's running, not just a stream that's scheduled?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because you have a stream scheduled, so you should.
I
be
do
able to
have I do have the Diddy stream scheduled, which means I should be able to redirect. All right. Well, with that, I'll be doing that on my back end. That's what I'm going to be doing on the back end here. While I'm talking.
Hey. Whatever happens in your back end, Joe, I'm not really interested. I thought this was supposed to be family friendly.
I got Diddy on the brain. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, let me get to these real quick. Julio Scissors, brand new member of the following. Welcome to the following, Julio. See, me and Julio. There you go. Oh, welcome to the following. The following is not at all a cult. It's not a cult. So, and we also performed comments saying, fun fact, Becky Buffoon here went to her prom with Alex. Oh, did she really? Did she really? Thus, I tend to believe he took her cherry tomatoes and never called her again, thus her hatred for him. I never heard this before. How has I never heard this? Now, okay, we're going to be covering, and thank you, Julio. So cool of you. God bless you, brother. I really appreciate the tip just out of the gate like that. I'm going to tell you this. If you don't know, if you're new to my channel, you may not realize that the biggest streams I've ever had on this channel were my live coverage of the Alex Murdaugh trial. You probably didn't even know that. But I was having 8,000 live for some of those streams. And it was raining in. And the entire time, I was fighting with a lot of people. Because my take on Alex Murdaugh was this. I think that guy is evil, terrible, awful, criminal, thief, like worst embarrassment on lawyers imaginable. And I do not think he killed his son and wife.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So and there's you might say, so he's going to jail anyway because of all the crimes and all the thieving and stuff like that. Why does it really matter whether or not he gets, these convictions become overturned? And I'm going to address the possibility, given the new updates in the Becky Hill situation, with him potentially not being, not having those convictions overturned. The two significant differences are, number one, he would get federal penalties. He's sitting in a federal penitentiary instead of a state penitentiary, which that tends to be far less taxing on your day-to-day activities if you're in a federal penitentiary than a state penitentiary. So for him, it would be fine. And the other thing, as far as justice prevailing here, which that we should just be fighting for justice in general, but I think it's unjust that the whole world labels him a murderer. Because is there anything more evil than the notion of killing your own wife and offspring? So I think it should be correct. The record should be set straight for the world. I don't think he did it, and I think he should get a new trial. I think the way the judge handled that trial was so tilted against him in ways that were just outrageous. It was really outrageous the way that trial was conducted and all the extraneous evidence that was able to be brought in there, and a guy testifying for the police with his brother sitting in the jury, and the Becky Hill stuff. I mean, it was crazy. It was really.
I really
crazy.
suspect there's something else going on in that county or that state. Something really shady. It seemed like there was other judges, maybe and lawyers involved in this whole money scheme and whatever was happening, and they were just trying to say, "Look over here, don't look at us. Let's just, Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
That's a great point, and it's definitely possible. Definitely very, very possible. All right, so let's get on into it. Becky Hill, what do you got for us here?
Yeah.
Maybe you know what? Maybe you want to share the link with me. I think I want to do it that way. I think I like it much better if I'm able to give me whatever link you got that you want me to pull up next. You just throw it into the private chat, and we'll do it that way because I think I like that.
I already put one in. I'll give you a
format.
This one.
Put it in our private chat over here because I'm not next.
There it is.
All right, cool. All right.
Then there's this one. I'll put the 3 links I
Alright.
have for this story in there right now.
This at the stage.
I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son Pawpaw.
Well, that was
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. First and foremost, I'm letting you know, as you know, my co-host here, that I hate Fox links because it does this. You see what is happening here? Like, it's all of a sudden it goes into this corner, and these other things are popping up around here that I don't want, I don't need, and sometimes I end up jumping on them. I hate. This is why I can't stand Fox. But it still looks like it's potentially a really good link. I'll tell you right now, I don't think it was scientifically possible for him to kill them, because unless he's 2 places at the same time, because her cell phone was tossed on the side of the road. Like 6 seconds later, he's answering his phone half a mile away. That's not possible. You can't get 6 seconds, even if he was in a car. At 200 miles an hour, he wouldn't get there 6 seconds later. Like literally 200 miles an hour, he still wouldn't get there 6 seconds. I mean, it's crazy. It's impossible. So it never made any sense to me why it is that wasn't basically a basis practically for dismissal. But let's go onward.
was Alex Murdaugh. He was sentenced to life in prison 2 years ago for the murders of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. It gripped the nation. Now, the former court clerk in the case, Becky Hill, has been arrested today on charges of misconduct and obstruction of justice. Here's a quick clip of her in our Fox Nation special, The Fall of the House of Murdaugh.
My name is Rebecca Hill. I heard about the murders of Alex's wife and son that very night that it happened.
Murdaugh's lawyers accuse Hill of jury tampering, and they're appealing the convictions.
Do you know why she's holding her hand up there? Do you know what that's from?
Me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm testing you.
This was when she was asked to testify by the judge, I think, to investigate what she did.
What happened with Becky Hill was she was the clerk of the court at the time that the Alec Murdaugh trial was going on. She was also writing a book about basically the conviction of which you know, they say that she knew that the book would have far better sales if he was convicted. She's writing a book about the Murdaugh trials, and the issues that were raised is that she basically said to the jury the day he was going to testify, "Don't you believe a word he says?" And it's like and other shady things that she did to basically imply to the jury that they should convict him. And so they had a hearing to see whether her tampering was a basis to overturn the conviction. And the judge who presided over it was chewing her out somewhat, and still decided to uphold the conviction, which I thought was so horrible. I thought it was because everything about that conviction, besides Becky Hill, was terrible. The amount of 2/3 of the trial had nothing to do with the murders, but they try to pretend that his fear was causing a motive when he's willing to admit that he committed the theft. So why do you need to show that he has fear? Like, you don't need to have all these people coming up there testifying how he's a terrible guy who robbed them. Some of them were dreadfully pathetic. When I say dreadfully pathetic, I'm not trying to say, I mean, they were pathetic, like they were very sympathetic. There was one guy who testified. I don't think I'll ever forget this guy. There was one guy who testified who looked like he was like a reincarnation of like a remake of Forrest Gump. Okay. And this guy who testified against Alex Murdaugh at the trial, which he was a client of Alex. And this kid, he looked like he was, I don't know, he looked like he was an upper teenager, but he's probably in his mid to late 20s. He was a client who had hired Alex Murdaugh to go help him get, as I recall, I'm going back like 2 years now. I feel like at least
the one where his mom worked for Alex, fell down the stairs. It was
yes,
fault. Okay.
Yes, it was him. It was him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. So his mom worked. No, not him. No, that was a different one. I'm not sure. I'm not. Now I'm getting all confused. There was one guy there who like Alex was his lawyer. Alex ripped this guy off, and this kid looked so sympathetic. He looked like Alex. He looked literally like Forrest Gump's
Was his brother disabled?
slightly dumber brother. And then he looks so slow. Like so slow, like you just wanted to give him a hug.
The woman who was his maid or whatever that died in his house.
Yeah.
They set it up so he could sue his own insurance company
Yes,
and get the money.
Yeah.
And then he stole that money from them.
And then he stole the money from him. Yes, he stole the money. First, the maid dies in his house, does this whole orchestrated thing, and then basically tells him, "Oh yeah, the case is gone" or whatever.
Did you get the feeling like
money?
The state was trying to almost imply that
he murdered
Alex
him?
might have killed that woman during the trial.
There was a lot of talk about that during the course of that trial. It was a crazy trial. But the harshest thing is you see this kid stumbling his way through his testimony, and then they said, "Why did you sign that, not your brother?" "Oh, because my brother's a little slow." And I'm sitting there thinking, your brother's the slow. Oh my gosh, he took advantage of these two poor orphans who were his clients. You're such scum, Alex. You're such a terrible human being. You're so terrible. Oh my God. So yeah. They did everything they could to make him look like the biggest scumbag on earth. And even though he was like, "Yeah, I'm a criminal, I'm willing to admit to it." No, we don't care about that. Anyway, so Becky Hill, she went up and testified in front of a different judge, and the other judge was like, "Yeah, we're gonna let this conviction stand. Shame on you. Don't do stuff like that again in the future. Shame on you. Bad woman." Well, now apparently they found out more. They found out a whole lot more.
Hill denies it.
Did you have any conversation with the jurors where you made any comment about the substance of any testimony or any comment about the merits or the strength of the case?
No.
Here's what a juror told me about the clerk in our Fox Nation special.
She came in and she was, like I said, it's going to be epic, and she was lit up, and we're all just kind of like, what's going on? And she said, the defense has decided that they're going to put Alex on the stand. And she said, "Now, I don't want you to be fooled by what they say. Pay close attention to his body language, his movements. You're going to hear a lot of things."
That's all jury tampering.
To say how we were all going to be famous, and this is, just the trial of the century. And I think a lot of, I can't say what other jurors heard. I was just kind of like, did she really just say that?
Yeah, that was interesting. So let's bring in one of Alec Murdaugh's lawyers.
Harpootlian.
Dick, welcome back to the program. So give us a sense, thank you for being here. Give us a sense of what happened today, because we remember when she was accused of jury tampering, and then what happened then, and what are these charges today that have now surfaced?
Well, today there were a number of charges. She was arraigned in Colleton County, Walterboro, for obstruction of justice and 2 misconduct in office. Those were not specifically related. Well, one of them was, but the obstruction, apparently she is accused of not being truthful to SLED agents when they asked her about distributing copies of pictures or exhibits that were under seal. But later on today, they arraigned her here in Columbia for perjury at that proceeding in front of Judge Toll, where we made the motion for the new trial. And I think that's extremely important in our appeal.
What do they say she lied about?
She lied about distributing exhibits under seal to individuals, I would suppose news media. But what's important about that is you just played a clip where she denied talking to jurors. And then you all had an interview with one of the jurors, the so-called egg lady, and she detailed what was said to her. And of course, the court denied having any conversations.
So that egg lady, if I recall correctly, was someone who had some situation with eggs, and she ended up having to be excused and removed from the jury. And she was supposedly the strongest advocate on behalf of finding Alex not guilty.
Yeah, there was some kind of Facebook bullshit Facebook message, if I remember correctly, that and it was all had to do with Becky Hill.
Right. So she got removed from the jury. So it makes sense that she's the one coming out now and exposing what Becky did. So
Oh, Kurt's in the chat. Hi, Kurt.
hey, Kurt.
This perjury count is an accusation by the state that they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she lied during that proceeding. And if she lied during that proceeding about one thing, it certainly challenges her credibility on any other thing, if that makes sense.
Okay. This show is over in 10 seconds, but is this going to lead to a new trial? Yes or no? In the murder case?
I believe it will. I believe it will.
All right. We will be watching Dick Harpootlian, in the Alec Murdaugh case. Thank you very much. We'll be following it. That is the story for today. But as always, the story goes on. We will see you right back here tomorrow at 3. Check out the podcast.
All right. See, I can't even make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Jim, help me.
You gotta reduce the size and then go.
It's so annoying. It's everything.
Wherever you get podcasts.
Stop it. All right. So yeah, it's good. I like that clip. That's good. That was good fun getting Dick Harpootlian.
There's another link. The second link I sent you is a local news that lists all the charges.
Oh, sweet. All right. Does it have the actual indictment or it's just the charge?
The actual indictment, I don't have.
Okay.
There's not. I do have a picture of it, which is one of the links is a picture of the indictment. But
well, maybe I can. It's a picture of the whole indictment or just one page?
No, just one page, like the charges, basically the charging document, maybe maybe not the indictment, but it's there. It's the third link down.
Yeah, I see it. I got it here. All right. So I'm gonna save this. Let's see if make this big enough here that we can all see it together. Yeah, this is good. All right. So these are the charges she's facing. Warrant, felony arrest warrant issued. Wait, this is not giving me a breakdown of what the charges are, though.
No, it's just saying arrest three different warrants.
Ooh. All right.
The one right above that should be where it lists the different charges in the different counties, because it's 2 different counties, I guess.
Right, and that's what Harpootlian was trying to explain, that she's been indicted twice now. One of them not really related to something that he feels they can sink their teeth into as a basis to overturn the conviction. This new one is the one that really may overturn his conviction, supposedly, at least according that Dick is hoping it will. So let's check out what we got here. Becky Hill.
It's the ABC4 one. Yeah, if you go down and list them.
Colleton County, Becky Hill, former Colleton County clerk of the court during the double murder trial of Alex Murdaugh, was arrested Wednesday and charged with 2 counts of misconduct in office, 1 count of obstruction of justice, and 1 count of perjury. Perjury charge was from Richland County, while the other charges were from Colleton County. Should we check this out?
Oh, you want? That's just
yeah,
bond hearing and all that.
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh, we're definitely watching this. Becky Hill being charged. Yeah, we're watching this. 8 minutes? Sure.
Okay.
He looks like they woke her up out of bed.
I'm going to conduct the bond hearing today. I want to welcome everyone. We have Agent Chilzewski, Agent Fitzgerald, Attorney Mr. Lewis, and the press. So welcome, everyone. Mrs. Hill, will you please state your full name for the record?
Mary Rebecca Hill.
Thank you. Do we have the date on the, okay, I see them.
We don't care. Shut up. We know your name. Becky.
Were there. All right. I'm going to go through the rights and responsibilities. I'll advise you some information, and then at the end, we'll hear from the state and we'll hear from your attorney. Okay. All right. Before I set your bond, I need to advise you some information and make you aware of your rights. You've been charged with 2 counts of misconduct in office and obstructing justice. These penalties for these three, they're common law penalties, so it's at the judge's discretion. However, I can tell you that typically the common law crimes carry possible penalties of 0 to 10 years. Your court date is scheduled for July 18th, 2025 at 9 o'clock at the courthouse at 101 Hampton Street.
Well, that's just 4
And
months.
do you understand the charges and penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I assume you're familiar with that location. So because this is a general sessions offense, you have a right to a preliminary hearing.
I don't think she's going to get a heavy bond. I don't think they're going to deem her a flight risk. So I don't think it's going to be very.
I know what the bond was.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
Don't tell me. I'm guessing like it's under 10 grand for sure. Really? Higher? Higher? They rounded at 50?
Yeah,
Really?
50. Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of steep. I guess she made money through it. That makes sense.
She probably
Good
only got
news.
to put 5. So I mean,
Good news for Becky. That's true. It's usually they 10% down. Good news for Becky is that now she can write a sequel for the new trial, make it a trilogy. Awesome. Make it a trilogy for her. So you get a second trial of Alex Murdaugh, and then you get her own trial. That'd be great.
This is a hearing that will determine if the prosecution has enough evidence to move forward with the trial. If you wish to have a preliminary hearing, you must request it within 10 days. And I'm going to send that paperwork with your packet for the preliminary hearing. If you'd like to have that, you can go ahead and sign that.
Jim's finally monetized. Wait, do you have 1,000?
no. I got 750.
750.
750. Yeah. So I need 250 more for ad. But I did get super chats. That's what that is.
My guy here. Jim tells you. I'm putting a link in the description. I'm gonna put the link. He's gonna share a link with me. I'm just gonna throw it up there, and we're gonna pin it. All right. We gotta get him over 1,000 so he can start collecting some of that that sweet ad money. Oh, love me some of that sweet ad money.
Now, and then we'll get that scheduled. Before you can plead guilty or not guilty or proceed to trial, you need to know you have a right to an attorney. And I see that you have a private attorney here, and am I correct? It's Will Lewis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You need to know if you were an attorney at any point, you can apply for a public defender. I'm assuming you want to stick with Mr. Lewis at this point. Okay, what I will do, I will send the application in your packet for public defender in case things don't work out and you change your mind. So you will have that application. Okay. All right. Would you please give me a good telephone number? And you know what? I think with the press, we're live streaming. I'm going to get that after, so we don't have that on the live stream. Okay.
That's
and I'll check with your address with that as well. You do need to know you keep your address and phone number updated with the court. You're required to notify the court if you've had any change of address until the completion of the case. Not receiving the notification due to the wrong address will not be an excuse for not attending court, and a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest and your bond revoked. You have a right to request a jury trial, and a jury trial would be judged by a jury of your peers as opposed to a bench trial with a judge. You have a right to be present at your trial, and you need to be aware the trial will proceed in your absence should you fail to attend. In a general sessions court, if you do not appear, you can be fined an additional $5,000 and 5 years in jail. If your charges are dismissed, or if you're found not guilty, if they're not crossed, you may request to have your record expunged, which means it'll be taken off your record like nothing has ever happened. Do you fully understand your rights and responsibilities I've gone over this morning?
Yes.
Okay. At this time,
This is Alex Lozeski with SLED. Oh, Your Honor, we have no recommendation as far as bond.
okay, all right, thank you. And then Counselor, would you like to address the
Yes, Your
court at
Honor.
this
Will
time?
Lewis, May it please the court, and I apologize for sitting down and not standing and speaking to the court. It's the only way I can get in your screen.
The cameras are a little messed up, I know. Thank you.
The position that they've taken in under 17 or 1510, we're entitled to recognizance bond. Her own recognizance absent, showing that she's a danger to the community or risk of flight. She lives here. She turned herself in. We found out about these charges last night.
So just let her go. Just let her go.
right now. So we'd be asked that she's released on her own recognizance.
All right. All right. Ms. Hill, are you currently on probation, parole, or out on bond now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then, how long have you lived at your address?
25 years.
Okay. All right. I do not find you to be a flight risk or danger to the community at this time. Before I set your bond, I must apply stipulations of the bond. And if you break any of these, it can result revoking your bond and you'd be subject to remain in jail until your case has been called to trial. Do you understand? Okay. You must appear at all your court dates. You need to
Yes,
keep
it's
your
that
peace.
lady.
In other words, stay out of trouble. Because I do not find you a flight risk or a danger to the community, you are entitled to a PR bond. I'm going to give you a PR bond of $10,000 per charge for a total of $30,000. And that'll do it. Thank you all for being
30,000.
present. And
I
so,
thought 50.
Ms. Hill, before I sign off, do you have any questions or anything you want to ask?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'm sorry. No, that's
Yes, sir. I see you, Mr. Lewis.
it
Yes,
was
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
50 in Richland County
Right now,
and
there is one
and 30 here.
Other
issue that we were
one.
hoping to resolve. There is a Richland County warrant for perjury related to the obstruction warrant at 166. We would ask, and I have the agents, and I'll confirm this with Solicitor Hubbard, who has the case, as well as SLED. I've also reached out to Judge Scott's office in Richland County, and they are okay with this. We would ask under 22-5-190, which establishes your powers, Your Honor, that you endorse that warrant for it to be served here. And what that will allow you to do, Your Honor, under State v. Ravens, is set her bond on that year. And that would just avoid us from having to go
There you
all the way
go.
to Richland County and all the processing and perhaps not be there till 9 p.m. just for some
Very.
paperwork. And I've confirmed with all parties that they have no issue. I do think from a practical perspective, and this is why we wanted to talk to you, once you endorse the warrant and they serve it on her, there might be like 5 minutes of paperwork to do, kind of like what we did this morning, and then we'd reissue the bond. So I was hoping Your Honor would be open to that. It's also permissible under your bench book at page 35, the 2011 bench book, and I've got an Attorney General opinion as well that I'm happy to provide the court for this authority.
Okay, I got word that you were possibly going to ask that, and I'm not inclined to do that. I've talked to our Chief Justice here. We want to keep this simple. We want to keep it within our jurisdiction, and so I'm not going to do that today.
And that cost her. It would have been an
yeah.
extra. It would have been an extra.
Sorry for the
20, I think.
inconvenience, but we're not here for convenience. Okay.
I hear you.
All right.
Well,
All
there you
right.
go.
Thank you all for coming,
Stone-faced
and
Becky.
good luck to you
Thank
all.
you, Your Honor.
Stone-faced Becky there. All right. Well, anyhow, Dak, what happened? All right. So at a bond hearing Wednesday in Colleton, Hill was granted a personal cognizant bond of $10,000, charged only $30,000. She only has to pay that sum should she break the conditions of her bond. She would deemed to not be a flight risk by the judge, having lived in Colleton for 25 years. Hill then went to Richland County for the perjury charge. After the judge denied endorsing that warrant to be served, Hill was granted a $50,000 personal recognizance bond in Richland County. Her next court date is July 25, 2025. Here are her charges. Hill is accused of willfully and unlawfully giving false, misleading, or incomplete testimony while under oath. That's right. And we covered that live when it happened on January 29, 2024. Accused of lying to former Chief Justice Jean Toll during a hearing on alleged jury tampering by Hill when asked if she let anyone from the press see sealed exhibits. Hill said she didn't, and which didn't make any sense because someone had to give him access. And accused of releasing sealed evidence photos to a third party on February 28th. That probably was her publisher. Obstructing justice in Colleton, Hill is accused of unlawfully committing an act that prevented, obstructed, or hindered administration of justice on February 28, 2023. That's not, I don't think that's the Murdaugh trial. That's a different trial. Accused of preserving evidence during the general sessions of Murdaugh trial. What does that mean, preserving evidence? Oh, she saved evidence for herself for her book stuff. Accused of releasing or made available sealed evidence photos to third parties and allegedly violated court order to protect sealed evidence. Wow. Wow, Hill is accused willfully and unlawfully breaching her duty of accountability to the public, failing to discharge said duty, and accused of using her public office to promote her book. So there you go. There you go. What is this? Clerk of the court during Murdoch trial charged. Let's see what this is.
And first at 5, former Carlton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill officially arrested and now facing multiple.
I'm so glad for this. I'm so glad for this.
Charges. Hill, who was the clerk of court during the high-profile Alec Murdaugh murder trial.
Let's do this a little bit.
If you just hit the full.
It was the judge, Jean Toll, who said that she wasn't going to overturn the trial. So you would expect to at least get another hearing, you know, on whether or not it should now be overturned, considering that she's facing perjury. There you go. There you go. By the way, I think I figured it out. I think I have it redirected. I'm very, very excited. Yes. Oh, how good it is. How good it is. All right. All right. Well, so I'll tell you right now, getting a conviction overturned is, you know, next to impossible. Getting a rehearing on a conviction is next to impossible. But I think they got a really good shot. I think they got a really good shot now.
Like Bronk always says, appeals are for losers.
Yes, and he's right. I mean, it's literally for losers because you're not appealing unless you lost, but you also almost never win. so it's actually a great phrase. And but here's one where the chances are a lot better than most. You got the woman who already had to have a judicial hearing to decide whether or not to overturn it. And now we find out that in that hearing, she committed perjury or allegedly committed perjury. Perhaps they're best off if they wait till she gets hopefully convicted of perjury. And the court might say, let's see whether or not she gets convicted of perjury. Like, let's see what happens with that. They may do that. So I don't know that he's going to get a new hearing ordered for him anytime in the next couple of weeks or so. But July, I said it's 4 months away. It's 2 months away. She's back there. I don't know if she's having a hearing. I don't know if there's going to be a trial at that time. It's just a hearing. So his lawyers will probably be like, we don't want to have to wait all the way till that time, like till she actually goes through trial. Like, you know, there's probable cause to say that she's committed perjury, and the Judge Toll almost was on the fence about issuing a new hearing back then when there was no perjury, there was no probable cause that this woman was committing perjury in the stand there. So I think they have a really good shot. And I will tell you this: if there's a rehearing, I will definitely be live streaming that. I will be all over that Murdaugh trial if it comes about again. Anyway.
I wonder if the feds are going to get involved and start looking at all the stuff that's going on and maybe dig into what actually is happening with that court system and the other people. And
I don't know. You never know where the feds are going to be. You never know. For all I know, you're a Fed. There's no way I can know for sure. There's no way. Everyone says you look too much like Tim Walz as it is. So like,
I'm offended by that.
I'm sorry, brother.
No,
so Ozelian shared with me a link which I think it's worthy of conversation. Saying, Joe, did you see the Wisconsin judge argues she cannot be arrested as she was performing her constitutional duties of moving people around in court? I saw she claimed some sort of justification.
Did you see the motion they filed, the motion to dismiss? Is that what you got?
I'm not sure. This is a link that Ozelian shared in a Rumble rant. So I was just going to check this out real quick here, because I do have to get. I have another stream starting in 15 minutes on this very same channel. Another stream that's going to be starting in 15 minutes on this channel. That stream is going to be whatchamacallit? That
Duty.
Diddy. No, what's that? Diddy.
Howdy doody.
Yes, Diddy. The Diddy details from day 3. Diddy details. So so let's check out this link that Ozelian shared with us here. Judge cites Trump's Supreme Court immunity ruling and bid to dismiss the ICE case. Citing the U.S. Supreme Court's 2023 ruling in President Donald Trump's election interference case, a Wisconsin judge accused of helping a man in the country illegally evade immigration agents, seeks to have her charges dismissed, arguing she's protected by judicial immunity. In a motion filed Wednesday, attorneys from Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan argued that her conduct directing movement around a courtroom was an official judicial act shielded from prosecution. You're such an idiot. That's such a lame,
It's not going to hold up when she left the bench and went outside into the hallway and told them to do stuff that has nothing to do with inside the courtroom.
The duties of the chief of the executive branch are not the same as the duties of a judge. This is not the same thing. It's not the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. Oh my God. He has to do these things. The defense leans heavily on the Trump decision, which established that public officials are immune from prosecution for actions within their exclusive constitutional authority and are presumptively immune for all official acts. Good luck. Good luck. The problems with the prosecution, judges are just like the executive branch, exactly the same. This woman understands nothing about the Constitution. That explains why she did what she did, because she didn't understand the superiority of the supremacy of federal law. The problems with the prosecution are legion, the motion states, but most immediately, the government cannot prosecute Judge Dugan because she's entitled to judicial immunity for her official acts, facing federal charges of obstruction. Look at this. Look at this slimy. Look at that face. Look at that face. She looks as if someone said to her, "You have a very punchable face," and then acted on it, like for a very long period of time. It just looks like a meat bag. Oh gosh, so angry, this woman, so angry. Dugan faces federal charge for obstruction, concealing an individual to prevent arrest, stemming from April incident. Helped the defendant leave a courtroom through a back door. Trump administration argues she impeded federal agents. Yeah, your stupid duty to state law, to uphold your state constitution, it fails next to federal law. So yeah, good luck with this, honey. Good luck. Even if here's the problem. They say the problem with the charges are legion. The problem with this motion are legion. Let me see if I can pull up a copy of the motion. It's probably really long. It's probably really long. No, they don't have it here anyway. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this. Let's start with this. She's a state judge, right?
Yes.
Not a federal judge. Okay. This is a state judge. So, which constitution is she supposed to is she swearing to uphold?
Both.
Is it?
Yeah, state and federal. Yeah, pretty sure.
I don't know. So if she's not upholding the federal constitution, because I would say that you cannot, in the performance of your state duties, ignore the authority of the executive branch under the federal constitution. See, the president is in a far superior position. I don't think this would apply. First and foremost, I don't think it applies to judges. Although I have to look through the Trump decision to see who it references as being immune, because perhaps they went through that decision and saw that it could be read to apply to the judicial branch at all also. If so, that's a poor job by SCOTUS to just imply that judges can just ignore whatever they want to do as long as they're doing their official duties. But so I don't think it should apply to judiciary at all. And secondly, she's running the judiciary from the perspective of trying to uphold the state constitution, right? That's what I would think. That's what I would think, not the federal constitution. She's not upholding. She's supposed to be implementing the state constitution. I guess technically they're bound by the federal constitution also. So maybe it is both. Maybe you're correct on that.
I have two little excerpts from the motion that are interesting.
What do you got? Let me see what you got. Let me see what you got here. Even if contrary to trial evidence would show Judge Dugan took the actions the claim alleges, these plainly were judicial acts for which he has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution. Judges are empowered to maintain control over the courtrooms specifically and the courthouse generally. Good luck. Good luck with this. The issuance of an order removing persons from the courthouse is in the interest of maintaining such control as an ordinary function performed by judges. Really? Removing them from the hallway? Removing them from the hallway also? Maybe from the courtroom, from the hallway? Really? The government's prosecution here reaches directly into state courthouse, disrupting active proceedings and interferes with official duties of an elected judge. Really? If they're in the hallway? You threw them out of the hallway too. A state defines itself as sovereign through the structure of its government and the character of those exercise governmental authority elected by the people in Milwaukee County. So now she has a right to just ignore federal law. Of course, that's how it is.
Well, there's a little bit more that you would find very interesting on that.
Federal government violated Wisconsin's sovereignty on April 18th when it disrupted its sovereignty. Oh, they don't have to follow federal law in Wisconsin, I guess. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, we're from Wisconsin. We don't have to follow federal law here. You're right, that is good. Violate Wisconsin's sovereignty with this prosecution. The court should end the violation of Wisconsin's sovereignty and dismiss the indictments. Oh, okay. I guess the nation of Wisconsin they don't have to follow American law in Wisconsin. So good luck to the. We should rename. We should rename to the International Football League because we've got those Wisconsin Green Bay Packers, and they're very clearly of a different origin and species than the rest of America. Apparently, they don't have to follow American law. There's a whole sovereign nation right there. All right, look, crazier things have worked. I don't see this one working. I don't see it working.
I guess the judge that it was assigned to is an 86-year-old Clinton appointee who has never gone on whatever senior status yet.
Which judge?
Whatever judge got this case.
Oh, yeah?
The Dugan prosecution. So we'll see if maybe the judge will try and just dismiss it outright. And
that's why Newsweek over here actually mentions that Lynn Edelman, a former Democratic state senator, is the judge overseeing her case from former President Bill Clinton appointed him to the bench in 1997. Oh, yeah, he's an old man. Newsweek reached out to spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Milwaukee via email for comments. All right. I got to start landing my plane here because I still have to set up the stream on Rumble. I'm going to be doing the Diddy stream. It's set up on YouTube that I'm going to be transitioning. You're not transitioning. It's just sort of like a redirection. It's like Judge Dugan's courtroom. You're the illegal alien in this scenario, and I'm just sort of shuttling you off safely away from the terribleness of the interwebs and other channels on YouTube, and just easing you in a healthy direction towards my follow-up stream, which is supposed to be starting at 10:30. So, but Rumble does not allow me to set up two streams at the same time. I'm not able to do that. So I need to quickly set up the Rumble stream, and then we'll go live on YouTube. So that's going to.
Sure about that?
That's what I see. Well, you can set up two streams at once.
I've done it before.
Since when?
A while ago, I had two streams set up, and then I closed one out because I set the
all right.
You know what I mean?
Now you have me all curious. Now you have me all curious whether it's actually possible. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can do it. My producer's saying it can be done, so let me see if it can be done. I'm gonna try doing it right as we speak. You're telling people that I'm saying something incorrect here. We'll see. Create new live stream. Put in my title, and now also here's my description from here. Copy and paste. And there, copy and paste, do that here, give them my little placeholder video stupidity. That's there. To put it as a podcasting, give the thumbnail, put down my thumbnail, that's there. Later time, set this up for 10:30.
Don't you have templates already set up with Rumble that just automatically do all that? What are you talking about? When you go to Rumble to set up a live stream, it'll say set up a live stream, create a live stream, and then it'll have templates. I have a whole bunch of templates.
Son of a bitch.
Here, look, I'll show you.
Yeah, I don't like the template version though.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, I don't like that. It gets me all confused when I try doing that. All right, son of a bitch. Am I able to redirect there too?
I don't know. I don't know. Does Rumble do redirects?
I've been rated. I've been rated.
Oh yeah, they do raids. I don't know how you set that up though. Did you ever? Are you all?
I've never rated anyone.
Yeah. Did you
No.
ever set up and get your like? Because Rumble, you're monetized from the beginning, but you still, after you get a certain number of followers or subs, you have to ask for a partner program type of thing, and then I think that's how you do the raids.
All right, so you're saying I should be able to raid?
You should be able to.
I have been rated. Definitely, that's happened, but I have no idea how I set that up. All right, maybe we'll figure that out sometime in the future. I still need to send out notifications anyway. So I'm going to land my plane over here. Tell everyone where they can find you, brother.
I am Jim Tells You on YouTube and on Rumble. I'm also Satala Consulting LLC on locals, but that's really not a big deal.
No,
you know,
it's not. No one cares about that.
No one cares about that.
No one cares about that.
And I'm Jim Satala on Twitter.
There you go. Make sure you sign up. We got to get this guy over 1,000. He's at 750. We're just going to keep churning him.
775 now.
Beautiful. All right. So
good going.
click the link and get on over there. Thank you so much, my brother.
Take care, everybody.
You have a good night. And to everyone over here, I'm going to be going live over there in like 2 minutes. I'm redirecting you. I'm going live to the Diddy thing in like 2 minutes. I'm going to start that stream up. I hope you're going to join me over there when you get redirected. And if you don't, I don't know. You know what they say? We know what they say about what's lab meat for? Who's lab meat for?
What?
It's who's lab meat for?
I don't know. What?
Lab meat is not for you.
Oh,
Not
I don't
for you,
know.
Jim.
I thought you said lab me. I'm like, what's going
Lab
on?
meat.
I don't eat
Lab
don't
meat.
eat no Impossible Burgers.
It's
don't eat
not
them.
for you. It's not for you. It's for they them. It's not for you. Exactly. And do not eat the bugs. Don't do it. Don't eat the bugs. Have a
Don't
good night,
sleep in the
everyone.
pod.
And Godspeed.